Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about a cycling supplement that I wish that I had found out about years ago. It has been an absolute game changer for me. But please do me a favor first. Please like and subscribe. That will really help me grow this channel to that critical 1,000 subscriber mark. Also, I want you to know that I am not a medical doctor, nor do I play one on the internet, so please watch this brief disclaimer.
Or information in this video should not be taken as advice in any form, medical, financial, legal, or anything else. Please pause the video now to read the rest of the disclaimer or read it in the show notes.
All right, the name of the supplement is BeetElite. I found out about it through Tim Ferriss. He has a pretty famous podcast where he interviews different people, and normally if he promotes something, it's pretty good. I've been impressed with the other products that I've seen him promote before. So when I heard him mention BeetElite for increased athletic performance, I thought I'd give it a shot. Some things about me that you probably would want to know is that I had a heart attack when I was 42. I had a 99% blockage of the LAD or widowmaker artery. I came really close to dying. I had a stent placed. I had ridden road bikes outside that year about 1,000 miles before I had that heart attack in July. So I have some blockage. I have coronary artery disease, CAD, and I don't know how much blockage that I have. I know that there was at least one other artery that was partially blocked, but it was kind of on the borderline whether I needed to stent in that one, and they chose not to place one at that time. Since then, that was back in 2016, I have been cleared by my cardiologist to go ahead and ride as hard as I ever did before. And in fact, 2013 was the year that I had all my cycling records in. And here in 2020, I broke a few of those 2013 records. I did it using this BeetElite supplement, so for me, it has been an absolute game changer. I told my wife when I got back from a ride that it felt like I got a heart transplant. I tend to ride with a group of guys once a week that's a lot faster than me, and this has really helped me not quite keep up with them, but at least keep up with them better than I had prior. I do tend to think that this stuff works better for me since I have so much blockage. I did give it to a couple of my friends who have had cardiac caths where they went in and looked to see if they had any blockage. Both of those guys were clear, and they had mixed results. One of my buddies said that he didn't see any boost from it at all, and he was one of the guys that was clear, no blockage. The other guy who had no blockage, I gave him some of it to try, and he thought he did see some benefit from it. In fact, he bought some on his own, so he's going to continue to use it. So I do think, again, like I said, that I get more benefit from it because with me having so much blockage, if I get opened up just a little bit from it, it really tends to help me out. There are a couple different kinds of it. There's the name, what I call the name brand, which is BeetElite, and it's about $40 for a jar of it. I think there's 20 doses in it, so it comes out to about $2 $2 a dose. I also found a jar of it at Sam's that's a generic, and I think it's about half the cost. It does not seem to work as well as what I would call game day. So when I'm riding with those guys that are faster than me, I don't use the generic. I tend to use the name brand, the BeetElite, and it does seem to work better. However, some of the research that I did on this stuff showed that if you exercise a lot, or if you're in relatively good shape, which I am in mid-cycling season, that you might need to use it a few days in a row. And I have seen benefit from that. And that's where I think the generic can come in for me. I've been using the generic the night before, and then only using the name brand BeetElite on the day that I'm riding with my fast buddies. And I did seem to get an extra benefit from that extra sort of loading dose, as you might call it, the day before. I haven't tried it multiple days in a row, but from what I can tell from reading up on it, I might be able to see benefit from doing it 2 or 3 days, basically once every day for 2 or 3 days prior to whatever event that you're wanting to perform well on. That stuff, of course, was just sort of anecdotally from what I had found out from some buddies, and then just my perceived efforts and whatnot. So I actually wanted to do some measurements, and we have a Peloton bike. So I actually did an FTP test, a 20-minute FTP test, 1 week apart. I didn't do any real exercise in between. This is the end of the 2020 cycling season for me. It's starting to get cold out, so I'm not doing very much. And I've got some metrics that I wanted to share with you guys. This first image that I'm going to go over here, what I want you just to notice is the average that's got 183 in it. That average is the average watts I was able to do over 20 minutes. And then at the top left, you can see that there's 10 minutes left. This was a 30-minute ride, so I'm 20 minutes into a 30-minute ride. And then you can see my average heart rate is 177. And we'll go to this next slide. And this is a week later. The first one was using no BeetElite. The second one is using BeetElite, and you can see at the bottom center in the red box that I was able to have an average watt output of 193. You can also see roughly I've got 10 minutes again remaining in the ride in the top left, and you can see the average heart rate is a little bit lower. So it's only 173. So it's, it's only 4 beats, but when you're at the top end of your ride, that makes those extra few beats make you feel quite a bit better. Now I'm going to throw up a spreadsheet. It's just showing the 2 different dates of the ride, whether I use BeetElite or not. Both the ride lengths were 30 minutes, and you can see the 183 versus the 193 when I'm using the BeetElite. So I got 10 more watts on that. The next column is the 30-minute kilojoule output. And I just did 1 kilojoule more. I basically rested for the last 10 minutes of the ride. And then the average 30-minute heart rate was 9 beats lower when I was using BeetElite, 165 without, 156 with. So that's at least some metrics that I had where I did a little bit of testing on myself and had a power meter and whatnot so we could actually tell. Everything else has been perceived. And I'll actually say that the perceived gain for me is much more than that. When I'm out riding as hard as I can with my buddies, that perceived gain to me is a lot more than what that 20-minute FTP test felt like. Another thing I need to mention for you is that it can have some adverse bowel effects. So be careful about that. That didn't happen for me at least the day of. It was the next day. It did feel like it gave me an urgency to have to go to the restroom. And it can cause your stools to be purple. So that can be alarming if you don't know about that. Other than that, I had no effects from it. If you don't like beets, it could be problematic because it does taste like beets. To me, I just drink it pretty fast and just don't worry about it. A couple other things. I haven't yet decided whether I'm going to use this stuff for every workout or just those rides when I want to try to keep up with my friends. What I'm leaning towards right now is that I think I'm going to use the name brand on what I would call game day, or the day that I'm going to ride with my friends that I can't keep up with. And then I think I might use the generic for just other workouts since it's so much cheaper and it does seem to give some benefit to me. I'm going to have some links to this stuff in the show notes, so check that out. It comes in the jar that I mentioned, which is the cheapest way if you're going to continue to use it. However, on the feed, the website called thefeed.com, they'll sell you just an individual packet. So if you did want to try it out, just a single dose, I think it's going to be like $3 for a single packet. And that's how I tried it out first. I bought actually a 10-pack of packets off Amazon.com. I'll have a link to that as well. I actually like the packets a little bit better just because it's pre-measured and just quick to take with you without having to mess with a jar. But I did end up buying the jar because I'm going to continue to use it, and I think it drives it down to about $2 a dose. So like I said, I'll have those in the show notes. Guys, I wanted to thank you so much for joining me today. That's really all I have on this subject, but like I said, it's been a game changer for me, so I thought I would throw this out there. Comment below if you will and tell me if you guys have used this before, like it, love it, hate it, whatever, or if you got any other supplements that you find useful. And if you would, please do me a huge favor and like and subscribe. That will really help me grow this channel to that critical 1,000 subscriber mark. I really appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next video.
The opinions or information in this video should not be taken as advice in any form, medical, financial, legal, or anything else. Please pause the video now to read the rest of the disclaimer or read it in the show notes.